Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. Tab binding. Thought we'd play around with it a little bit different these days. Instead of our pamphlet stitches and our hidden spines and our stitching through the spines and all the rest, I thought I'd give you a different way of binding your journals. Now, this is tab binding. It's a different way of doing things. It's a certain look, so you're either into it or you're not, I suppose. Doesn't give you that clean spine look. You can always cover it again with another spine. They're a great way of doing, let's say you've got something you really want in a journal, but it's one page. You can't fold it in half. You don't really want to stick it onto another page because you like front and back. This is where tab binding comes into its own. It is really easy to do. You can knock them up in no time. They are really, really easy. The thing I like about tab binding is that I can use, now I don't know about you guys, but I keep my packaging. Yep, I know, we probably all do. So when I get something new, I just pull it out of the packaging and I tuck it into a box that sits below my desk near my feet. So, and some of these are years old. Sometimes I remember to use them, sometimes I don't. So you can see all the Timmy ones. I quite often use theirs. Here's for journaling cards and stuff like that. That's 49 and Market. They have the most beautiful, beautiful packaging. So I like tab journals because I can use these. So this is one that I've done up as a prototype to show you what it is. And this is using, I think that's Studio Light. So you can see I've taken off the top tab. I've covered up where it actually said Studio Light. And the rest of it is still there. So on the back of this one, this was a stamp. That's the picture of the stamp that was on there. And all I did was put a pocket on the bottom that covered up their barcode, etc. It's also another great way to use envelopes. You know how you get these beautiful envelopes in the kits that you want to use, but you either have to stick this down to make a pocket, or if you put them in as a flap, you lose this beautiful part. So you've still got all of the envelope. They don't have to be the same size. Okay, these are just odds and sods. These were, I've got, oh, hang on a moment, I'll pull them out. I've got bags of bits. Okay, and that's what this one's mostly done with. Just all my bits and pieces that were floating around my desk in little containers that probably needed to be sorted. So I've got postcards. I've made tags for them, just with other little bits and pieces. Cards, pre-folded cards that I've either purchased when I've been after the envelopes, this is me, or I've still got left over from my card making days. So cards go really well in them. Okay, here's another one, and it's literally just a piece of sewing that I had sitting there where I'd been testing stitches on my sewing machine. So I just put a back on it, and it pops it into that like that. Covered up, just put some extra bits on that. That's another piece of packaging from a company. Again, I've covered up where the barcode and everything was. Just more little tags. Okay, bits and pieces that I had sitting around, another card. Okay, see this. I don't know if you all, you know when we get our brown paper bags, not just the lunch bags, but the bags that will come with when you purchase bigger items from the store, and they have those straps. If you undo those straps, that's what you've got. Okay, so down here, not there, which one is it? That one. Do I have a full one? Yes, I do. Oh. These straps. Okay, if you unwind them, that's what you get. So don't throw them away. They work a treat for the top. of your tags. So that's, again, another card. That's some more packaging with just a serviette or a napkin on it. And I've just put strips of papers that I had sitting on the table on my desk over it that way. It is easier to decorate all your pages prior to tabbing them together. It is. But where's the fun in that? So for today's exercise, we're going to do it the hard way. We're going to tab our journal. We're going to learn how to tab journals. And then if you want to hang around with me, we'll decorate it. Okay, this is, again, a tag of a piece of clothing that I've just put over the label and then done the same on the back. So they were literally stuff that was on my desk. It is one of the easiest things to do. Right, this one I have used, now, step back. Lots of different ways to make your tab binders. You can use fabric, which is what this is. This one's actually curtaining. You know, this sort of stuff that you get free from the curtain shops when they're finished and all the rest. So that's what that is. It's one of those ones. I think that's a little bit that I had left over. So that's curtaining. You can use ribbon, any type of ribbon. So, you know, ribbon like this. This sort of one. Now, this has got a wire edge from memory, and I would pull the wire edge out. So if I was making a boho one, that would, you know, it's beautiful. That sort of ribbon. So that's the ribbon we're going to use today. I'm also a ribbon junkie like I am a lace junkie, but, you know, that's another story. So that's the ribbon we're going to use today, but I just want to show you different types of ribbon. So you can use up your ribbon as well. You can use lace. So your heavier laces, like the cotton laces, nice and strong, you can use those in them. They look beautiful. I would probably not go with the real thin ones. You're going to have trouble gluing them on anyway, because the glue's going to want to seep lots through it. That's not good English, is it? It's going to really want to seep through it, and you're going to have to watch as you glue things down. So I would probably stick away from that. These ones are a little bit better. So what have we gone through? We've gone through ribbon. We've gone through lace. The washi tape, you can use washi tape. Just watch that it's thick enough. The new fabric tapes that they put out with all the washi tapes and all the rest. So they're the fabric ones. They work beautifully. They're already adhesive. So all you've got to do is cut them and put them on. Makes it even quicker if you've got those. But let's face it, not all of us have them. They're an expensive item. And a lot of the times we want to keep the cost of our journaling down. We want to use what we've got. So look at what you've got floating around. There are so many things that you can use. I'm sure there's others, but at the moment, right now, I can't quite think. But if I think of them during it, I'll just blurt it out. Okay, so as I said before, what I've used with this one is curtaining. So it's quite thick. I cut mine to about 1.5 inches in length. Somewhere between 1.5 inches and 1.75 inches. There's no great science to it. I also like to keep them, when I'm cutting them up with curtaining, I like to keep them to about that, which is whatever that is, 3/4 inch. And I just put my curtaining like so on a mat, and I'll run my ruler up like that, and I will use a again, what do you call it, the little quilter's wheel. I will use those. Okay, so you're just going to sit it on there. So that's what I mean. There's no great width that I use. I just tend to sit it on and go, yeah, I like that size, and run that through. Okay, So I just do that and then get a couple of strips and then cut them up into my 1.5 inch, 1.75 inch lengths. If I've got any left over, that's fine. I will use them in others. If not, I just keep cutting as I work my way through my journal. So as I said, this one I had 2 left over, but they'll stay in my bits. They'll go in clusters. They'll go in other bits. So it's not a great problem if you end up with leftovers. Look, you can sit there and work it out exactly how many you need. Where's the fun in that? You know me, I'll just go for it. So, and I'll do the same. If you want to sit there and work it out too, how many you need to cut them exactly, by all means. Right, let's get stuck into this guy. So the papers I've chosen for today, it's just a small one. I've got a piece of packaging from your creative studio. So we'll decorate that, and I'll probably put a little bit over here, a little bit over here, and a bit down there. I want that as my front cover. Okay. Now, with these ones, again, not all the same size. If you're going to do it the same size, they're all the same size, all the same things. It is so much easier. But I thought, what the hell? Let's just jump in and do it the hard way. So you can see in here, I've got different sizes. All right. They're around about the same, some of them are not. So, work out how you want your journal to be to start with. And I'm thinking that envelopes, I love, as I said before, I love envelopes. So I'm thinking I want this on the front. I want this one. This, again, is another card. This is one of the journal cards that come with the scrapbooking things. So, again, that'll all be covered, and I've got all this wonderful journaling space on this side. Another envelope, pretty little envelope. I will lose a bit of that with my bindings. I've got another card. I've got one of those Tim Holtz strips. And I've got another envelope, a large envelope at the back. So if you set all those down, you'll see different heights, different widths. Okay? The thing you need to remember is if you're going to do different heights, work off your smallest one, as in your shortest one. So for me, the shortest one, I think I worked out, would be these cards. Yep. You might be as well. Yeah. The cards are the shortest ones that I have. So they're the heights that I'm going to want to do my... Where am I going? There, and there. Are the heights that I'm going to want to do my tabs. So when you do your tabs, work out your centerpiece first. So we're not going to decorate this until after. And I know it means that it's a bit hard, but... So when you're first starting out, you will start with 3. Now, as I said before, I'm using this ribbon. It is, I don't know, to be about half an inch, a bit over half an inch, 1.5 centimetres wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch. Oh, sorry, they're yucky. I was coffee dyeing again, and I still can't get it all off. So I've just cut a pile of them, and they're in 1.5 inches wide. Okay, makes it nice and easy. Now, when I'm doing this one, so we're going to start with our centre. It's always wise to work out your centre. So this would be my biggest, wouldn't it? I think this is the biggest, actually. Oh, there's very little difference. All right, let's work out the centre of that envelope. So it's 7 inches. So 3.5 is my centre, which is there. Where's my pencil? It was here not 2 seconds ago, and it still is. That's about 3.5, round about. So if I set that on there, that's my centre right there. So to start with, I can pop my first tab on there, and all I'm going to do around about halfway is just sit it on. Again, I like to keep myself fairly straight so that I don't end up a bit crooked. Okay, so this is just going to go on like that, and I find the easiest way, and I'm not using my fabric glue, it's still fairly warm here, and it's going to go everywhere and take forever to dry. So I'm going to use my normal liquid glue. I'm just going to put a square in there. There's a square in there. All right, that's only for the Australians amongst us with Play School. Set that on. I don't worry at this stage if I've missed some, because I can go back and do those later. All right, so there's my first piece. That's in the centre. My smallest ones were these cards. I told you this is a hard way of doing it. So again, if I look at that one, I don't want to go right up here. I need to be able to capture these cards. Okay, so I'm just going to sit my card there as a guide so that I can see where I need to put my other two tabs. So one's going to go here and one's going to go here, and that's where my tabs need to be all the way through. One there and one there. From that, that'll capture everything that I've got in my journal. Make sense? I'm hoping. All right. So a little bit of glue there. I'm just going to straighten that up again. And I'm going to sit you on there. About halfway. You don't want to make them too loose when you're tightening them up. When you're attaching the other side. You know what I mean? All right. Still with me? Convoluted way to show you this, but let's go. And leave that one to dry and we'll grab another one out. Okay, right. So that is going to get us through everything. So let's put this one back where I wanted him, in there. Now we're going to turn this one over. So our second page, again, use your grid. My second page, I want my envelope. So I'm going to sit it in here where it's actually going to work in the tabs so that I'm nice and even. Okay, so if I sit this so that we're just a little bit, if I work in inches, this side, the other side of this is in inches. How's that? Because that last card was in inches. Let's see if that works any better for us. Can we see that? How's that? Because I know this one was just a little bit smaller than our last one that was in inches. Does that make sense? And does that help at all? Right, so this one I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to line him up so that we've got an even amount, top and bottom. All right, so this time we want 2 tabs and they're going to go between these ones, like so. So the smaller you have it to start with, that's fine. They don't have to be the 7 inches. You might have started with a 5-inch one. When you're putting these in, you need to make sure you've got room for your other 2 to go between. So if your tabs are really small together, because you're working on a shorter album, you need to make sure that you've got room between here and here for this one to fit through. This one's nice and easy because it's a really tall one. If you're working on something, your whole album is that size, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, You still need room for your other ones to go in there. So again, that's the other reason why I don't go too wide with my strips, because it does run the risk of my smaller ones not quite fitting. And I want them to fit and move a little bit. All right, so back to this. This one's going to go here in the centre, and this one's going to go here in the centre. So I'll move you. So we're going in the centre of those bits. It's going to be round about there. If you're concerned with where you're going, sit your tab to the side, not up like I've done. Right, so sit your tab to the side like that. That makes it easier. All right, give yourself a little square. Sit that one on. Sorry if my hand's going over. I'll try my left hand so that you can see. Right. Now, they, depending on the glue you use, will depend on how wet they are. My glue's drying fairly quickly today because, as I said before, it's fairly hot. Turning this page over, so this is your second page. Lining it up again. Let's go back down to this line where we were. So lining it up again. And what you're going to do now is take those first 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to fold them over, like so. And there's your first binding done. So we're going with the 3, which were our first ones. So I'm just going straight onto these this time. Which is the other reason why I like this glue. My fabric glue will try and pull it up and all the rest. So this is where you're going to get mucky. Fold it over. Don't let them be too loose. Okay? I find that I can tab them right over. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not pulling them like I'm trying to tie a knot, but I'm not letting them hang loose and all the rest. So we're just popping them on there, folding them over. Lost all my fingernails. Right. Folding that down. And so our last one, which is this one, pop your glue on. Fold him over. Push him down. So now you've got your first binding. Right, so bringing him back over to this one again. So he's nicely lined up. And we're going to go with our next page, which is this one. Now lining that up because this is one of our smallest pages, remember? So we've measured it to make sure that these guys will fit because we're going back to the 3. So if we line that up with that one we know, of course, is going to fit. Okay, so it just fits like that. So again, make sure that that's straight. We're going to go with our centre one. And it's always easier just to put the centre one in, just for your eye to follow. Lifting that bit up, popping him on. I've got glue coming out of that, so we'll just wipe that before I turn it over. Right, and we're right on the edge down here, so if I follow it right on the edge, down like that, you want to try and line them up. It more for aesthetic purposes than anything else, because if I pull this one, you want them to look nice and even going down, and that's the main reason we want to definitely line them up. So here's our next one. We're going right up towards the top. A little bit of glue. I'm trying desperately to put that in with my left hand so that I'm not covering it up. Right, folding that one over, lining up these, and now we're going to pop our 2 from before on. So it's 3, 2, 3, 2. Just keep going like that. Now, when we get to the end, hang on a moment, I'll fold this one over. Straighten it out. It is very easy with ribbon. Well, this ribbon. Some ribbons not so much. Depends on the type of ribbon you're using. And the curtaining, as you saw with mine, tends to fray a lot, which I like the look of. I really like the look of it, you know, with all these pieces hanging out. But by partway through, you are very gluey, and it does want to, you know, keep going like that. So this is my next one. And again, we're going with the 2. We need to make sure it's lined up with this one though. Okay. So now we're going with the 2, which are going to go in here. All right, so we'll sit that there in line, sit that one there in line, and we'll pop down the 2. Like so. Oh, I'm not a lefty. It's all right. It's all right. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. And this one. All right. Turning that over, making sure your glue's not, every now and again, just turn it back over to make sure that your glue hasn't stuck to it all everywhere. All right, that one's going to go down there. And now we're going to put these ones on. It is very easy. It truly is. It's something you can just pick up, utilise all the stuff that's sitting on your desk. You know those days when we're meant to be cleaning our desk? We've finished a project. We've got stuff sitting around everywhere. We want to clean up before we start the next project. One of these little ones is so easy to use. All the bits that are sitting on your desk. They're great for happy mail, you know, for swaps, things like that. You imagine doing one of these, putting in your pockets, all those envelopes, filling them with goodies for other people. And yeah, they're a really good little way to use up your bits. So back to this one. Now we've got this one. I need to go straight again. This one is a larger one, so I'm just going back here, lining it up, and then bringing it out. So I've got here, we're back to the 3s again. I've got here. You can always tell where you need to be because they're the ones that don't have the tabs sticking out. So, and here. So now we're going to pop those ones on, okay? There. My glue's starting to run. I tried to do this very early this morning. It's Friday morning and we're getting lots of heat again, so I thought I'd do this early in the morning before the heat really starts and my glue starts to go mental. We all know what it's like in summer when our glue just decides to keep running of its own accord, and I just wanted to be able to keep doing this without having to put the lid on each time. All right. And down here. Got a bit of glue. And now we'll fold this one. Folding that over, lining up your tabs, like so. And now we're going to fold our 2 in. Oh, look, I don't lose it at all. You can sit there and work those things out, but in all honesty, it's beyond my brain capacity, especially first thing in the morning. Lose a little bit of it, but not much. That's good. So in our 2, and over. But yes, if you've decorated these to start with, then it's all there and your tabs will sit over them. Whereas this way, you need to work your way around your tabs if you want that tab look. Right, so back to one of our small ones again. Line that up because we're going to go the 2s, so we need to make sure that the 3 tabs will fit. And we're going to go with our 2s. So one's here. So this is another pre-folded card that I had sitting in the drawer from my card making days. Straighten that up. Like that, and one down here. I have no idea how many of these little ones I've cut. If we need to cut more, we'll cut more. I've only got a couple left, so as in a couple of sheets left. Do have some over there, we'll see. Right, that's that one. Folding that over, and now going with our 3. So we need to make sure it's aligned with our 3. Almost at the end, I know. Are you still with me? Do you get the gist? I'd like you to be still with me. But there's no way of showing you this. Well, yes, I could speed it all up, but what's the fun of that? 1. Down to our middle. Just double check that it was the 3s that I was meant to be doing because I was talking and not actually concentrating on what I was doing. Right, so there's our 3s. So this one is next. We'll straighten back up again. And this one is fairly tall, so we're going to be right with this one. And at the moment, we're only going with... So we're going 3s. Let's see what I've got left in these. I've got one here. I've got one here. And I've got one here. Oh, I might have actually done the right amount. Oh, and some extras. So, I'm going to go here. You can see that glue starting to run. In the half hour or whatever we've been on. I don't even know what we've been on. Yeah, half hour or so. The weather's really warming up. All right, so there's one. Let's go down and get more glue today. This is starting to wear. Starting to run out. It is starting to wear as well. You can see my bottle. It's well loved. All right. There's that one. Like so. Just give them a push. Make sure there's no glue hanging over the sides because it is starting to run now. That one's going to line up with those. Like so. And 2, wasn't it? Right, we've got one left. Let's have a look. Now, because we're up to our end, that's why I said I only wanted to do a small one so that I could not bore you. So this is our end. We don't need to put tabs on this one because they're not going anywhere. So this one literally just has its closing tabs. So the 3 that we've put on here will close over like that. That's it. That's how you, oh look, I've still got some left. That's how you finish them off. You don't need to put tabs on your last piece you will use the tabs that you've got already sticking out. Now, the other thing is, for your last one, it is always better to finish with your 3 tabs. Okay, you might be putting more tabs in there. You might be doing, you know, 5 to 7 tabs, something like that. But it's always better to finish. We want to line this one up, and I want to take that so that the bottom of that is exactly the same. You want to finish on those 3, because then the last bit has got the most hanging off it. Hanging off it, that's not right. Has got, I'm having a real day, aren't I? It's too early in the morning. It's got the most connection. I'm doing really well. Blur, let's rewind all of that and just pretend we won't even do it. There you go. Okay, how easy was that? So here's our little tab journal. It folds beautifully. It's lined up for the most part. Look at that. That one's another one of our cards. That's that one. And then we finish with our large envelope. And because they're even down the bottom, it will stand up. It is only, as I said before, we don't have many pages, not as many as the other one. You can see what I mean by the glue on your fingers at the end of it. And yes, look, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, I had 5 left over. So I'll just move that out of the way. And I'll put that there. So, you know, we're going to decorate that one. That's an easy peasy thing. We can either turn them into journaling areas. For me, I like them for pockets more than journaling, if that makes sense. Because I do feel that they're a great little happy mail giveaway, those sorts of things. So I would, which is why I like to use the envelopes in them, I would probably pocket most of this. That doesn't sound right, does it? But, you know, I would probably pop pockets on all of this. And again, it's a matter of using what's on your desk. So let's just, again, I'll pull out one of these. This is what I mean by, I have things like this sitting in a little box beside me. So, which are just little containers of scraps. Not including my scrap container. They're actually in my little containers that I have for finished ephemera when I'm doing things. So let's have a look. So, and I have this one as well, which have strips. So let's just use these. For those of you that want to hang around, you don't have to. And thank you for watching. If you're leaving now, bye. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. For those of you that want to hang around, let's decorate this guy. So I also like to put serviettes on some of them. When I haven't used any other packaging with this one, have I? No, just that one. So I don't really need a serviette on that. In this one, which one was it? This one. Right, that is one of these. Here we go. It's this. Now it had flowers on it. They were Prima flowers. So I've just trimmed it off across there. I've left all this there. So I've put a little piece here. And this was a serviette. As you can see, all this is still down here. And I just went around my tabs just to still leave that wonderful backing, but give it a little bit of texture. You can hear the texture. So that's just a little bit of eye candy. You could put a pocket across there, all sorts of things. And the back I've just done with my strips so that you could write on it if you wanted to, or clip some ephemera on it again. So let's have a look. Sit you guys off to the side, and I'm going to just use my bits and bobs that I've got floating around. So let's have a look in this one first of all. So I've got cards, I've got papers, ephemera bits, old bits of cardstock, all sorts of... Oh, look, another envelope. I love these envelopes. These are from kids. I'd say these are Graphic Fairy. But, you know, when I go to use them, I lose this wonderful bit. So that's why I like them in here, because I can have them like that. Oh, I've got another one there that I've started working on some packaging. We'll finish that one at a later date. Let's have a look. I've got flowers in here. So there's no reason why I can't put that up there and then put a pocket down there. That's nice and easy, isn't it? We're going to move that because I will get that filthy at this stage. And I want to give this a little bit of cream just around my edges, because it's stark white, and you know me. And again, if you'd done all this prior to your tabs, it would have been a lot easier. I'm just going to go up here a little bit. Were you very excited to see me not ink as we were doing it? How's that? Alright, so just a little bit of a mottle is all we're doing. I'll wipe that away. I like that, and I like it torn just the way it is, and I'm going to pop a pocket down there. I'm going to pop a pocket in. You fit, you don't fit. Let's have a look at some of these other scraps. And I've got scraps everywhere. Oh, here we go. And none of them fit that one, do they? I don't want to use anything new, so let's just have a look. And now all I've got is a big mess. What's this one got in it? Apart from my envelope instructions. Oh, look. Go the lighter one. Oh, all right. Bang, let's just do that. So I like that as is. I want to give it a slightly darker edge. It's still a glossy. It's where it's just been from a book, and it's been coffee or tea dyed. I'm not quite certain, but just the one side. So I've just ripped it out and ran over it with my brush. But because it's that glossy, your distress inks and oxides are not going to want to take too well. So I'm just using an archival ink, and I'm just going around it with one of these blending brushes. Now you can see it sitting there. So with my cloth, I'm just going to wipe it so that it dries and evens it out. So see how I now get that sort of look with it. Don't need to worry about the bottom, do I? Right. Oh, sorry, can you hear that motorbike or something? Something, anyway, that's going. It's because I must have windows open somewhere. It's very loud. Alright, back along here. Right. Again, give that a wipe. And I'm just going in that circular motion again, just to give it that, I don't know, faded in edge. And I'm going to stick that down. So I'll grab my sticky mat, grab my glue, pop that one back away. My glue mat is sticky. So I want that right up the top. I'm going to turn that way so that I can see where I'm going. About evened. Like so. And we're not, it's gone sideways on me, so I'll have to trim it off. Yeah, that'd be right. Here's those. Right. And then I want that for my pocket to pick up all that, and I want it to go almost right to the edge because I've got room for that. So let's just trim you there, and we'll trim it about there. What do you reckon? Grab that. Trimming off that. And where were we? About there. That looks about right. And I know that these are upside down, but I wanted this softer area. So that's okay before you start shouting at me that they're upside down. Right. And you'll see that because this is the front, it's like the other one. Doesn't have tabs, so that's what happened with our back one. No tabs, remember? Thinking I want a little, we might go a slightly bigger one. What is it? Oh, there's my centre. See, you can't see me when I'm doing that. I've got one eye closed, my mouth all screwed up. Yep, like that. I'm going to give this one a darker one. Just two reasons. One, to really highlight it and that bit around my flowers. And two, to cover up the pencil marks where I haven't quite cut perfectly. And it's easier than trying to find my rubber on my desk. Like that. Like that. So, back into this one. There it is. I honestly don't know what that noise is. It's annoying. Don't think it's a motorbike. Right. It's all done. So I want that. So I've got my arm over you again, haven't I? Sorry. Close that, and I can give it a good push. Right, I like that. But I want something on there. So again, let's go to our scraps. Let's go to our scraps. I'm just going to move that back away before I lose it. I've got all sorts in here. Let's just pull out some of these ones. Oh. Oh, look what just fell out. I'm liking that with a word, and we have to use lace somewhere, don't we? Let's go for lace. Do I want to get a darker lace that's going to then tie it all into that? Let's have a look. Actually, I'm thinking I might go that way. Or do I want a lighter one? Oh, I do have that one. That one's not bad. That was a blue, and I don't use blues. So I've tea-dyed it, and just to bring it into a colour that I will actually use. I lose it a little bit on there though, don't I? But I do like it. Mind you, the blue would have worked. Look. Don't use blue. I don't use blue. I don't use blue. I have that one. I need it in a cream. So what else do I have sitting over here that's a narrow cream? No. That's too narrow. I want... Going for my colours. You're a little bit lighter. Way too much lace, Kylie. I actually like that blue one. What was the blue? Even though it disappears in there. It just gives me that look, doesn't it? So we'll go with that one. Otherwise I'll be here forever. So that's going to just go like that. And I'm going to use... No, yeah, the fabric glue dries clear. That's the problem. Well, that's not the problem. That's the best thing for lace. So we'll see how we go. I don't know what the temp is just yet, so I'm just going to go along there very quickly. Alright, lift that up. Oh, I'm not doing well. Right. Sit you down there. Sit you on there, but I'm going to pop a stamp on it. Whether I just do a number or what. Let's have a look. Let's go numbers. I've got Tim Holtz and Witchcraft Do You Do. That one would fit beautifully. Factory number might actually fit on there too. Let's do that, which is a word and a number. So I want a little, yep, line you up. And what do we want? Do we want greens? Do we want greys? Let's just do the grey, because greys will match with just about anything. I'll grab my little mat. Now I'd like it to be straight. I can't guarantee that it's going to be straight. How's that? You'll see better than me because I haven't stuck my head right over it. Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. All right, put that one back in there. And that one over that. That's come up quite a treat. I like that. I'm going to go with that so I don't rip off any more of those. Whereas if I use my glue stick, I'll run the risk of tearing off more of these, and I want to keep those on there. So don't throw anything out. This is all just done with my scraps. And I've got to admit, it's been cleaning up my desk beautifully. So, and I want that offset like so. There we go. How's that? Just all my scraps sitting around on my desk. What have I got time-wise? Oh, we're just about finished. You get the gist anyway. Let's find the original one. Let's find the original one. I sat it here. Right there. All right. So, same concept. All my bits and pieces that were floating on my desk. Little bits of pockets. These, as I said before, awesome, happy mail. Sitting you down there. These are just bits of scrap paper that I still had floating around. See, now that is actually a stamped image of that stamp. And it was sitting in amongst all my scraps where I'd used it for something else. So, literally, just my scraps. Okay, so this was a piece and it had been chopped off, jagged edge out here. So I just chopped it off and fit it in there. That was, again, half a stamped image that was sitting in my scraps bin. So, you know, look at what you've got floating around. Play with it and clean up your desk this way. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you got the gist of what I was actually doing. As I said, it's really just that first bit that you need to know how to do your tab binding. But, you know, it's fun. It really is fun. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, thank you for sticking with me. If you liked it, give me the thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. Thank you to everybody that's already subscribed. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.